discussions with the board owners in this time period, like the people who run the QAnon board?
No, I actually have no idea who runs the QAnon board. There's a guy going around making a documentary about 8Channel, and he's the one who introduced me to the QAnon board. I didn't know we had it because it's an unlisted board.
Okay, and what do you think of it now that you do know about it?
I think that it's protected political speech in America, and I don't think it's the reason that Congress is sending me here. I think they legitimately thought that I was working with the Iranians or the Russians or something.
They were asking about if you've worked with the intelligence operations.
They also asked.
So there's, well, the thought occurs to me that there are people who believe that QAnon is a U.S. intelligence operative who's posting, sort of government.
But they didn't ask for that.
Okay. So you didn't.
I didn't bring it up. They didn't ask me about it, and I was prepared for them to ask me about it. I mean, I don't know who QAnon is, and really, we run an anonymous website, so...
Do you think it's a U.S. intelligence operative?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Even if it was, I mean, how would you know?
Right.
If it's a U.S. intelligence operative, you would never know.
After that, then they went into, have you ever worked with a foreign intelligence agency? And then they listed Russia, they listed Iran, they listed Syria and Venezuela. For the record, I have never worked with any of those intelligence agencies from those places. They asked a lot about Russian access to 8chan. And I explained to them that the Russian government has blocked access to 8chan.
In terms of the hearing, obviously they brought you in response to the Poway shooting, El Paso, Christchurch. What types of questions did Congress have for you regarding these shooters and their manifestos, which were available at one point on 8chan?
They mentioned all three of those. They talked very little about El Paso and very little about Christchurch. They spent most of their time concentrated on the Poway shooting.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what sort of questions were they asking?
They were asking, what are you going to do about this? And they were asking if I'm allowing white supremacists, and they asked, they explained it to me. Did you know there was a rabbi that was wounded? I didn't know anything about it. Of course, I know about the shooting now, but at the time it happened, I didn't know it happened. The first I heard about the Poway shooting was when I saw the assistant FBI director being grilled on C-SPAN by Congressman Thompson. This is the first I knew about the Poway shooting. At that time, I said, well, we have to get him some information because he doesn't know anything about 8chan. Talked to my staff, and I said, well, assemble all of the documents that we have for talking with the FBI over the years, and they put together a big packet to give them. One of the things that I was able to do, and they submitted it into the congressional record, was to give them some suggestions on how to make things better to work with tech industry. And one of that was to have a central database and an easier way for a tech company to be able to submit a report of something that's happening.
8chan has gone offline. It's been offline for almost a full month, probably will be a full month very soon. Are there plans to bring the site back online?
Yes, I fully intend to bring it online soon, within a few days. I have been spending this time with building my own version of Cloudflare. So that we don't have one central place to shut down the website so easily, because basically these giant public companies can just deplatform anybody they want. And I've received threats from big public companies. It's like commercial terrorism. It's like, we're going to not only shut you down, I'm going to shut down the companies that are 2 hops above you on the internet.
Do you feel that you've been unfairly targeted because of the actions of users rather than the entire site itself?
I think we're the first of many, in that if I don't get back online, that it will be considered a success and that they'll go after the next site and the next site and the next site. So I feel an obligation to turn 8 Channel back on. And that is super important to me, even though it's not like a profitable enterprise. It's so many people silenced right now.
Have you given any consideration to changing some of the tests for the sort of speech that you do allow on 8chan, or being more proactive with FBI, or with identifying boards or users or posts that may seem to lend themselves towards violence or threats?
Proactivity in America is a super red flag. This is something you have to avoid as an American. And for a site that associates itself with the United States of America as a First Amendment abiding website, proactively censoring is something that they would do in Europe. It's something that they would do in the People's Republic of China. And that's okay, because that's their country. But Americans don't do that.